Well, Dan Jervis is on the start list, but isn't involved in this race now. I'd like to pose questions at this time in the morning. Is that Irish record going, or is Dan Whiffen going to say, do you know what, not today, because I don't need to do it today, I'll do that tomorrow?
He doesn't have to do it, but whether he chooses that he wants to do it, it's kind of two different things. Yeah, he has every potential of being able to go after it. We saw him in the 400 free doing just that. But yeah, I think it's going to be decided within this first 100, 200 meters. I think we'll know.
Also, if it was my strategy, I'd say, yeah, that couldn't wait until Wednesday afternoon, quite frankly, or Wednesday evening. Did set that new Irish record at the recent World Championships of 14:57. First Irishman to go sub 15 with that 14:57. So just to reiterate, no Dan Jervis has had to withdraw because of COVID complications. And so Rawat of India in 2, Luke Turley of England in 3, Dan Whiffen of Northern Ireland in 5, Eric Brown, Canada 6, and Graham Chatur of Trinidad and Tobago in lane number 7. Just taking out the early lead, it is Eric Brown of Canada in 6. Well, maybe that tells you that Dan Whiffen will just take it relatively easy and just do what he needs to do to make that final. But good start. First 100 does not dictate the overall pattern of the race, and not a bad start from Graham Chatur either. So first 100 completed in 57.73. Probably won't see another 100 that quick.
As we noticed there, Eric Brown, pretty strong open water swimmer as well. He did compete at the World Championships in the mixed open water relay, so he is a great distance freestyler, and he is still holding pretty strong. But as you say, there's still another 1,375 meters to go. Can he maintain this lead? I do think Daniel Whiffen is holding back, but we're going to see maybe him pick up the pace after halfway.
Well, he's only in the top 3 at the moment. It is Eric Brown from Luke Turley, and then Rawat on the right-hand side of your picture. Dan Whiffen signing, well, do you know what, I can go for broke tomorrow. As long as I make that top 8, we've only got 10 now. We're only going to drop 2 swimmers anyway. He'll just want to pace it nice and sedately. And that is a 101.50. That turn from Eric Brown. So everything's starting to just get a little bit more sedentary off the back of that first 200.
Even just looking at the styles of the strokes, you see Eric Brown there with just that little bit of a flutter kick behind him just to keep it going. But Daniel Whiffen, just no legs. Again, just really keeping the feet there, just letting it balance out the stroke. Really long reach there. He's a very tall athlete too, and that's going to hold him at an advantage, especially when he starts bringing his legs in. But Eric Brown now still powering through, constant leg kick, nice long strokes, and he's going to be hopefully trying to sit in this rhythm of around maybe 101, 102 pace.
Eric Brown's best time is 15:17, so that could potentially go this morning. 15:17.46, 12th in the 400 free was here. That's a 3:01, so yeah, just outside 60 pace. Second is Whiffen now, and Luke Turley third. So Dan Whiffen starting to make a bit of a move, but certainly not going at the breakneck speed he did in Budapest just a week ago. And Shaga Rawat, he's got a 15:38 to his name, so he's well ahead of his personal best.
Yeah, Rawat there marking Luke Turley of England very well. Stroke for stroke here, and Whiffen's starting to move that gap along there. He's starting to edge ahead of those two who are in their own little battle for that 3rd position at the moment.
And Whiffen, the Irish record holder at 4, 8, and 1500 freestyle. Just trying to claim 2nd place for himself. And he has a much quicker time than does Eric Brown. So leads me to suggest he's just kind of going through the motions. Luke Turley in 3rd place. Rawat's swimming very well for India in 4th, but that's the lineup at the moment. Brown from Whiffen from Turley. Not quite as dominant as the first race, but still well ahead. And if Whiffen wants to go to another gear, we know he's got it.
Yeah, I definitely think he's holding back. I do feel he's kind of playing a little bit. He's just keeping Eric just in his sights. Could see him maybe bringing in the afterburners coming into the sprint finish, because I presume he might want to, just for a bit of an ego boost, maybe go into top seed, well, yeah, finish in the top of this heat. So he's letting Eric do all the work at the minute, just keeping him out in front. But as you say, there's still a long way to go within this race.
Keep a watchful eye on what's happening on the other side of the pool from him. Luke Turley in 3 and Rajagara Rawat of India. The gap is not getting much bigger between first and second, but we need a little marker to see how big that lead is. 2, 3 and 4 are fairly closely grouped together. And that's going to be Brown. How far ahead? 2.77. I imagine that lead's going to start to edge down a bit. Third of the race completed, 500 meters, and it's the Canadian from the Northern Irishman, and then Turley and Rawat having their battle for third place.
Well, Turley got his feet to the wall, just 5/100ths behind Rawat actually on that turn there. So Rawat going very, very well here. But Whiffen he's starting to pull away from him. He's looking very comfortable. Watch off the wall. That little dolphin kick, he wasn't even doing that in the first 400 meters. So he's starting to pick up pace, but he's going very comfortably here and looking very strong. You can see the contrast of the leg kicks. Whiffen really just using it for balance at this stage.
Well, Brown opened up another half a second advantage on that last 50. It was 3.35. Dan Whiffen looks to be getting a little bit closer. Let's see what the clock tells us. Yeah, he has taken a little bit out of him on that 50, but it's fluctuating. It's odd. This does happen in 1500s quite a lot, that you'll come back on the last 50 and eat some time away, and then when they go back down the other end, that time seems to evaporate.
Yeah, I can't fully explain why that happens. It's possibly just a little bit of effort and intensity. So if you're picking up the pace going towards the start end, you then recover on the way back up. So it's that sort of faster time, slower time, so it kind of peaks and troughs throughout the race.
So it was down at 2.8. It is still 2.8 between our leader and second place. And Luke Turley having a battle he probably didn't imagine he was going to have, actually, with Kushagra Rawat in lane number 2, but because their times are very different. Luke Turley's best time is 15:07. The Indian's best time is 15:38. So there's 31 seconds between them in theory.
Yeah, and Turley there, you can see he's just starting to edge away now, but Rawat doing all that he can to not let him get away, because I think he probably senses he's swimming very well there. You can see that yellow hat of the Indian athlete up there at the top of the shot. The slightly higher stroke rate, shorter stroke than that of Luke Turley in the red hat of England. But you can see now Turley is starting to open a bit of a gap, but he will have expected to do that a lot earlier than this stage of the race.
Yeah, it's getting tighter between 1 and 2, I think. Yes, it is. We're under 2 seconds now between Brown and, well, now Whiffen's moved into third place because Turley has started to accelerate and moved up into second.
Turley's just starting to execute maybe a bit of a race strategy. We are coming into that halfway, well, past halfway now. So for him, he might be looking at making the second half of the race a little bit stronger than the front half. So we'll be seeing him just adding a little bit for each 50, whether it's an extra kick or extra power through his arm pull underwater. But for him, it's that strategy of just pushing it a bit more. But Daniel Whiffen, I think, has spotted that and is going to respond a little bit to that.
So we have a different 1-2 now, or did. Let's see whether Whiffen responds. He won't want to finish in third place. I'm absolutely certain of that. And he might just be tracking Luke Turley. But now getting a bit closer. You can see Turley now visibly almost alongside our long-time leader. We're going to see Brown's lead down to half a second. Yes, we are. 0.53 now. So the top 3 in a 1500 separated by a second.
Yeah, you can see here that Eric Brown is now just paying the price for that early lead as Luke Turley and Daniel Whiffen now start sitting more on top of Eric Brown's shoulders, and it is Luke Turley possibly going to be out in front or turning first into this turn.
Luke Turley, who trains in Bath with Dave McNulty. Looks like he's going to take over the front of this race very shortly. Might be now. It is now. Half a second, in fact, a whole second turnaround from 150 to the next. As Luke Turley and the crowd can see it up on the scoreboard now. And that's why you're hearing the roars you are. They can see an Englishman at the top of the scoreboard. And Whiffen will be edging through into second place. And just keep an eye on that Indian record for Kusagara Rawat. It's 15:23.66 is the Indian record, which is held by Abhat Page, who we saw in the previous heat. 15:23.66.
Could very well get close to that. He's looking very strong, even though he's back in fourth place. We've still got another third of this race to go, and anything could happen here. But we are now seeing a bit more of a dominant swim come through from Luke Turley. Daniel Whiffen again now sensing that Luke's the one in front and just keeping him in his sights. Eric Brown just fading a little bit more here.
Yeah, top three now separated by not much at all. Whiffen's a second behind. Brown is 1.48 behind. We'll see what Rawat's doing. Oh, he's still in fourth place and still on course for a very quick time. He's not going to be massive. If he keeps going this way, he's not going to be massively outside that Indian record. And if you tune in, thinking, where is Dan Jervis? Well, he's not here because of COVID complications, so he would have been the red-hot favourite to win this. He's quicker than everybody else in this field, but not involved. That's vacant lane 4 is where he should have been. And now Luke Turley, who has a PB of 15:07.71, is starting to inject a little bit of pace into proceedings.
Yeah, Rawat at the top there, the Indian athlete, he's very, very consistent. He's repping 31.7s at the moment, so he's settled into his own pace, and he will be really pleased with how his heat is going, as will Luke Turley now that he's at the front of the pack.
Dan Whiffen, I like the description by Hannah, is playing with the field Vic, so we know he can go an awful lot quicker than this, but why would he need to when there's only 10 swimmers in the field overall, and he knows he's going to get a top 8 spot? He really doesn't have to overextend or overexpend his energy. Luke Turley might want to go out a bit quicker for his own reasons, but Whiffen knows, having just come off the back of 14:57 in Budapest, that he's in that kind of form as he showed earlier in the week in the 400, for example. That's a new Irish record.
Yeah, and even every single athlete that's in this heat has raced that 400. So for him, that was just a little taster of what he's capable of. We know he's got the speed. He did take it out quite strong, but he brought it back really, really strongly, and he just missed that being on that podium. So for him, he'll be wanting to try and turn that around and get on that podium within this 1500.
Right, so this time let's see what we're at in terms of the split. It'll be 12:27. So we're not, to be honest, we're not on for a quick time here at all. We're probably on for about 15:25. So that probably means that Indian record will not go, but Rawat may have a chance to come back and do that tomorrow. Might claim the last place in this one. Might claim 7th place, but Luke Turley is doing what he has to do to make absolutely certain there's no room for error for him. And we have 5 lengths to go for Luke Turley. 2.4 over Whiffen. Brown, our early leader, is slipping back. The open water swimmer did the 1.5K relay. It was 10K, but obviously he did 1.5 of it recently. Luke Turley will have long to go now in terms of this one. It'll be 4 lengths. 200 to go when he comes in. Dan Whiffen just getting a little bit closer. 2.53, not massively, but then there's nearly 2 seconds back to Eric Brown. And we'll keep an eye on Kusagara Rawat because it's not a very quick time. I think that so the Indian record might just stay on the books for another 30 hours. Of course, the Indian gets a chance to come back and do the final tomorrow. But Luke Turley quite determined to go on and win this. Second in the GB champs in the 400 free, second in the 800 free, and third in the 1500 free. And that lead remaining about the same, 2.5.
It is, and you can just see Luke Turley's stroke has just changed ever so slightly. He's been really more dynamic with his right arm as he's breathing, coming in. So he's got like a little bit of a limp or a hop within his stroke. So as he's driving forwards, he's going to be looking now as we're coming into hearing the bell for the last 100. He will be picking up the speed, and you can see there, really picking it up. Daniel Whiffen now. Here we go.
Yeah, he's going to go now. I reckon that Whiffen's going to want to try and win this. So we might have a little bit of sprint coming between Luke Turley in 3 and Whiffen in 5. Whiffen might just say, okay, I've been playing around for 1,400 meters. I now want to inject a little bit of pace. He's got a bit of room to catch up with Luke Turley, and maybe we're thinking, actually, I don't really need to do this. And look at, he doesn't want to finish third though, and Eric Brown is starting to edge back towards him in lane number 6. Turley has an advantage of 1.94. Whiffen in second, Brown about the same distance behind second place. Whiffen just coming, just edging towards Luke Turley, but thinking, no, actually, you know what? Tomorrow's really counts. Brown, though, is really trying to go for this in lane number 6, and he's trying to come back. The Englishman will get the applause and the acclamation of the crowd as Whiffen comes for second place. It's not quick. Got to be absolutely honest, that is not a quick time for a heat. 1:35.65. That is some 28 seconds outside his personal best. And now Graham Chator of Trinidad and Tobago will finish off in lane number 7. So we're only going to drop 2 swimmers. He will be almost certainly one of them. Looks like we will also drop Isaac Dodds. So there'll be likely to be 2 Indians in the final.
Yeah, really impressive stuff there. And Daniel Whiffen didn't quite do the sprint finish that I thought he was, but to be honest, that makes sense. You know, if you're going to expel a really strong burst of energy, it's going to take longer to recover from it. So he did just enough. He was playing. He just obviously got excited hearing the bell, sprinting in and out. My fault for calling it without really seeing the rest of the swim. But it was, you know, solid swim, not quick, but it was just about getting a lane for the final.
Let's see who makes it. I think the 2 Indian swimmers will make it through to that final. Here comes our top 8. Yeah, and they're both there. But Page and Kruzaka Rawat both into that final. Not a quick heat swim, to be honest, right across the board, 15:02. You can see the distance there between the 2 Australians and then Toby Robinson in 3rd place, but it will be considerably quicker, that I can assure you, when it comes down to the 1,500 meters in the final on Wednesday afternoon. There